the spotlight, hit that light. No cap, no filter, we take flight. Saints on the rise, got that energy. Tune in to our podcast, feel that synergy. New Orleans pride, we never fall. Subscribe to the vibes, we bombard. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. Yo, Bean Camara, run that play. Crystal lava flying, making waves every day. Take some heels, switch it up, always on the go. Cam joining the fans, putting on a show. Doing Mario with time, bringing that heat. Shaheen's got the speed, can't accept defeat. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. So stay tuned. Don't miss this ride. With the Saints by our side, we take pride.
All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marlon G. Back at y'all on another episode. We got Marlon and we got my dog Bryan up in the building, man. How y'all feeling today, fellas?
Doing good, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Well, we got the Saints and the Giants, man. We're gonna have to go ahead on and do this little recap before we get into all the extra topics surrounding the team. But first and foremost, man, we're gonna start with you, Bryan, man. What's your takeaways of the game versus the Saints and the Giants this past Sunday, man? You can hear me, Bryan? Well, Bryan probably having a little technical difficulties. We're going to just start with you for right now, Marlon. Go ahead on giving your takeaways of the Saints-Giants game.
It was one of the hardest watches that I had to watch as a Saints fan in a long time. Man, that game was hard to watch. I think you seem, it's like, I don't listen to them a lot, but I know I heard Bobby Hebert say one thing, and it's like if you're familiar with the
hold on, Marlon.
If you're familiar with all right.
Yeah, I can hear you, but we can hear the truck loud.
Yeah, my apologies. I tried to noise cancel it, man. So my apologies to the listeners right now, man. I'm out here on the road, so y'all gotta forgive me. I'm trying everything I can to cancel some of this noise. I'm muted while Marlon talking. You heard?
Are you straight, man? But yeah, I heard Bobby Hebert say it was like watching. If you're familiar with like the English or the soccer leagues in Europe, it's like two teams fighting to stay. Like the winner stays in the league and the loser get relegated. Like that's what the levels of teams that was on the field playing. Like the Saints is a bad team, the Giants is a bad team, and it was just two bad teams playing, and one team just slightly worse than the other team.
Yeah, man. What about you, Bryan?
Yeah. My apologies, Randy, bro. I ain't mean to have that background noise in there when you talking. Yo, you can hear me, fam?
Yeah, we can hear you clear.
I bet, man. I just wanted to, first of all, my apologies, Randy, man. I didn't mean to have that background noise going while you were trying to get your balls off, G.
You straight, man. It's cool.
Yeah, we can hear you very clear right now. So whatever you got going on right now, keep it like that.
Yeah, bet. That's what's up, man. I had to get right real quick, man. But as far as the game, bro, it was pathetic in my opinion, man. I heard Randy just not talking about how one team had to get relegated. It really was crazy, bro, because it's like the Saints realistically struggled against a Giants team that was trying to tank worse than what the Saints are at this point, man. So it's kind of like wild because realistically speaking, had the Giants not remember that they were tanking, they would have won that game. They gave the Saints every opportunity to win while showing that they didn't want to win the game, and the Saints still were like, nah, you know what? No. And it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like, the Saints were out there, throwing, 5 picks in. No, it wasn't that. The Saints were realistically trying to win that game, and they couldn't, which scares me moving forward. So, I mean, look, I know Darren Rizzi came out and said that, they got to finish and all of this stuff like that, man. The Saints been finished since, that 7-game losing streak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, like, I seen like just some of the stuff that the Giants did during the game, like even some of the calls, you couldn't tell me like that's one of those games where it feel like it's rigged because I'm watching like that one third down play with Drew Lock had the first down where he would have got way more. He had the first down like clear as day, and then he just all of a sudden turned sideways for no reason to not get the first down and they punt. Like it's just stuff like that. Like even that like that punt return that they had, that was a clear touchdown. Like that wasn't a hold at all. Like that game just felt rigged and like we still in a dog fight and this team is tanking. The game feel like it's fixed. Like that was one of the worst. That was like the worst win I seen from the Saints in just recent memory. As far as like, it's nothing to feel good about after that game.
Yeah, man. And then on top of
I
that,
completely agree with that, man. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about on the Drew Lock play.
Yeah, that 3rd and 2, and like that was crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. And then on top of that, we got Carr. He gets injured, trying to play hero ball on the play that was on second down. So now we're going to probably likely not have him. Well, I think he's going to come back for the Raiders game, me personally. But now we're going to not likely have him for the rest of the way, which the Saints are technically, quote unquote, still in a division race right now. That's how sad this division is. We lose 7 games in a row. We still in the fight. But yeah, man, Derek Carr gets injured, man. Taysom Hill, he's the linchpin to this offense. He got injured. Being that said, what do y'all think are we gonna do moving forward with Taysom and Derek Carr with their likely season injuries?
You want to go first, B?
Yeah, I'll take it, man. I think at this point, bro, the Taysom experiment is over and done with. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's a Hall of Fame player. He's going into the Saints Hall of Fame. But when I say Hall of Fame player, I mean Saints Hall of Fame, of course. And I think on a side note, I think Taysom might actually have a sneaky case to make it into the NFL Hall of Fame as a special teamer or some type of football ace, whatever they want to create a name for him as. I think he has a sneaky chance to get in the Hall of Fame as that. But his career as a Saint is over with at this point. As far as Derek Carr trying to be a hero, Derek Carr going to be right back next year being a hero again because I don't think they can afford to get rid of him at this point based on the fact that they did the reworking of his contract. Mickey Loomis seems like he's firmly in place at this moment going forward. So I think everything will be status quo next year, and whoever is the new head coach coming forward is going to have basically in order to get the job, in my opinion, he's going to have to tell Mickey Loomis, I can work with Derek Carr because I think that's what Mickey is right now. You have to work with Carr in order to get the job.
I go regarding Taysom Hill, like, dude, you can't keep bringing all these old people back. Truthfully, like I've been saying for the longest, like with the Cams, the Marios, like you got to move on. Like this is a 34-year-old. Like, and I don't know if y'all familiar with like Taysom Hill college injury history. Like he broke his foot, or it's either foot, ACL, knee, leg, whatever. Like he had 4 straight season-ending injuries in college. Like there's a lot of wear and tear on the body. Like it's a reason why the teams not giving him. You don't want to give him say 10 touches a game because like he physically can't handle it. But like you just got to move on. He'll be a Saints Hall of Famer. He'll go to the Saints Hall of Fame. But like you can't keep him at that price at 35, and then like you have a 30-year-old running back who's getting double figure money. Like we got to start cutting payroll because like we got to take a step back to take steps forward. Ultimately, regarding Carr, I don't know. I hope they get rid of him. They can. You would have to restructure damn near everything else, but like they can get rid of him. Me personally, I've been saying they should get rid of him. Once you're willing to take you taking the dead money with Lattimore, then you should be willing to take the dead money with Carr. Because like, if they tried to make the playoffs the last 2 years, like the team getting worse and worse, and they not making the playoffs. So Derek Carr is one of those quarterbacks. He only works if the team around him is good at this point. And the last 2 years have shown you like this team shouldn't be in the business of paying a $40 million average quarterback because like his money increases next year. So I mean they should move on, but we still got the Mickey Loomis question and who really running the organization, which I mean, I know they say that he's going to be in, but like, I mean, I hope that maybe they get a new GM or something, but yeah, that's pretty much like my take on it.
Well, I think a part of the reason why Mickey Loomis is coming back is because the Saints are going to be looking for a new head coach. Like, I'm using it for an example, not because I think it's going to happen, but because I think that's one of the qualifications moving forward. I mean, moving forward is the idea of, in order for Ben Johnson to take a job, he's looking for a stable organization. Well, nothing else screams unstable organization like we fired the head coach and the GM, and we're going to try to move forward from there. So I think for Ben Johnson, if you're looking at state stability, well, it's easier to justify why you fired Dennis Allen than it is to say why you fired Mickey Loomis, who's been implanted and one of the people who was responsible for the success in the organization. Now, what's going to happen for Ben Johnson if the Saints are on his radar is that he's going to talk to Dan Campbell. And he's going to ask Dan Campbell about Mickey Loomis and the Saints organization. And whatever Dan Campbell tells him is going to hold a lot of weight on whether or not Ben Johnson will even interview with the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, regard like I'm trying to like. I just feel like, to me personally, if I was taking this job, like, and I had options, like, I'm not trying to work with a 70-year-old GM that shouldn't be in the league anymore. That's just me. If how I would look at it from their standpoint. Like, I would want to pick a lot of these, because a lot of these head coaches, especially when they're going into something bad, like, you letting them pick their GM, almost like Detroit. Like Detroit, Dan Campbell went in there, and him and that GM Brad Holmes, like, they went in together. Like, we gonna be locked up around the way. Like, it's hard for like a Ben Johnson. I don't know how old he is. I think he's under 40, but like Ben Johnson, a 40-year-old working with a 70-year-old GM that like clearly stuck in his ways and shouldn't be in the league anymore. That's just like I don't see it, me personally, but
Yeah, man. And along with Derek Carr and along with Taysom Hill, we got the Wiz kid, Clint Kubiak, man. He was the talk of the town the first 2 weeks, dealt with some injuries. But when it comes with injuries and when it comes with coaching, that's where you could really see where you at with it when it comes to coaching. Like, how can you do when you under the fire? How can you do when things ain't going 100% correct? And through these games, through these games of late, man, how y'all feeling about Clint Kubiak?
You can take this from Randy.
I try to give him like some leeway. I mean, there's some stuff that you can obviously see with this offense, like as far as like the lack of personnel. I thought it was like a personnel issue going into the season because like I said, I'm a big Chris Olave fan, but a 6 foot, 190 pound receiver cannot be your only guy that can comfortably play in the X spot. Like, so that's above his control. Like the run game, it's a good offense for the run game. The run game is better. It's better than it was in the past. Like, it's clearly better than it was in the past. Elvin, he benefits a lot from the system, which is cool. But like, I know it's a talent thing as far as like the injuries and like who we got on the field. But like, man, this the whole year I haven't really seen an adjustment. I think like in the second half he can't adjust to the other team's adjustment at all. Even when they was healthy, like the only time I seen it was the first Atlanta game where they adjusted to the other team's adjustment. But like the other 12 games, like I just don't see any adjustment. Like if the other team they go back to the locker room and they make their X's and O's adjustments, and it's just like, what do he do? And like it's almost like watching the 49ers. I think it's a stat on Kyle Shanahan where it says, I think it's a stat that says like if they're down by like say 10 points or something and a half, then he's like 1-39. And that's kind of what it feels like watching like Clint Kubiak out there. Like, I don't know if the guys from that system, I don't know if they know how to adjust to the other team's adjustment. At least that's what it seemed like to me.
Nah, brother, you when I say you spot on, a lot of what you said just now is exactly how I feel. I feel once Clint Kubiak gets past his scripted plays, he's pretty much cooked after that. And not to mention that, but I think, Marlon, he ran off, at the beginning of the show when he said, man, that, it's Taysom Hill is the linchpin of the offense. And I think that's a huge part of the problem. You design your entire offense around a 34-year-old gadget player, which is a problem in and of itself. And for me, I said it right here on your program, Maul. I said it many, many times. Way too many people had this savior mentality when it came to Clint Kubiak, and the idea of they thought Clint Kubiak was going to be like what they thought Greg Williams was. or when Dennis Allen has the defense, all he has to do is let Clint control the offense, and everything will be just fine. I kept saying we're gonna have to slow down on that hem of his garment mentality. That just because you were around greatness, it made you great yourself. And now this is exactly what we're seeing, in my opinion. I'm not going to give him the injuries. I'm not giving him the excuse of having Derek Carr as quarterback. I'm not going to give him the excuse because he built this offense. This is what he wanted to be as far as what he had. And I was told that, well, Clint Kubiak didn't need a good offensive line because San Francisco didn't have great all-pro players across the line. So for me, I'm going to sit here and say, I don't think Clint Kubiak is it. I saw him. This is my second time now seeing Clint Kubiak in control of an offense. Not impressed. He had his run in Minnesota, and he had Jettis, Kirk Cousins, a multitude of running backs. He had weapons. He was the 11th ranked offense. And that's when you got one of the best wide receivers in the game. I'm not buying it. One of the best quarterbacks in the game at the time was Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins' problem was never the regular season like we see him do in Atlanta right now. Kirk Cousins' problem was if he ever got to the postseason, he would crack. So that's what the problem was, in Minnesota. But I'm not seeing that from Clint Kubiak. I agree with you 100%. I don't think he's it, and I think whomever is the next head coach, that comes across, I think they're gonna fire him.
Yeah, I see people, they talk about, like, hypothetically, what if the Saints hire Aaron Glenn, and, like, could he keep Clint in place? Nah, Aaron Glenn came from Detroit, bro. It's somebody up there he can get to do the job other than Clint. I know we don't have Detroit personnel, but, like, Clint, not somebody I'm like, man, I got to keep this guy or try to keep this guy.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. And I want to mention this real quick before we kind of change topics a little bit. It's the idea of, if there's something that's going to take place with Mickey Loomis, and believe me, I'm on the fire Mickey Loomis bandwagon. I just understand that it's very unlikely to happen. What's more likely to happen is Mickey Loomis takes a promotion, which is going to be essentially a demotion, and he might, right now he might be the president of whatever like that. He might be the president of the presidents. Dennis Lauscher truly retires this year. He was supposed to do it last year, stuck around a little bit longer. If Dennis Lauscher retires and Mickey Loomis moves into his spot, then maybe, just maybe, they'll either promote Kai Harley, or promote Jeff Ireland. What I would love to see them do is hire Louis Riddick. That would be an amazing name to have as a GM for the Saints. I think he would completely change and be an outside set of eyes that could come in and change things in the Saints organization.
I'm not sure about, like, Louis Riddick personally, but, like, I would, for me personally, how you said hire somebody from the outside. That's how I don't want anybody promoted. Jeff Ireland should never be a GM again. He wasn't good in Miami. I don't want Kai to be a GM. I don't want Kai to be my GM, not on my team. I don't want anybody just getting promoted up. I don't think these guys are good enough to get promoted up, me personally. But I would want somebody from the outside. I'm not necessarily just putting my name on one candidate, but I would want somebody from the outside. I like somebody. If you told me the Saints to get somebody from, like, say, the Rams, because I watched them, like, bro, that team, they know how to draft guys from the mid round. They know how to draft guys in the third through fifth rounds. They went all them years without picks, and they hitting on third and fifth rounders. We can barely hit on first rounders, and they hitting on fourth and fifth round picks. So I would want somebody from there, especially looking at like how the dude Brad Holmes, who came from the Rams, doing in Detroit, or what he did in Detroit. So, like, I know that's a successful model to go after or try to build.
I'm with you when it comes to the Rams, because before Clint Kubiak was hired, I actually was saying, if you got to pick between the Rams offensive system, if you want to run it, and the 49ers offensive system, give me the Rams system. And Sean McVay just proved that.
Yeah, I was saying it depends on what you wanted. To me personally, with the offense, I know probably looking at our personnel, this offense might have done better with the Rams model of that offense rather than the 49ers model. Because, like, that 49ers model built off, like a bunch of dudes who, like, extremely tough, run after the catch. Like, we don't have that. We don't have a George Kittle. Like, George Kittle really the key to that offense in a lot of ways. Him and Christian McCaffrey. We like AK, obviously, AK turned back the clock. I want to be the first. I apologize. I said he was. I don't think that AK, even this year, is better than Christian McCaffrey, like, as far as, like, the last couple of years. But, like, I didn't think that AK would be this good at this age.
Yeah, I feel like it was always stuff left in the tank. I mean, I just think when it comes to Christian McCaffrey got that breakaway speed, and sometimes you just really need that. Like, when you hit them holes a certain way, and you got that breakaway speed to just go running for that touchdown. that make a whole lot of difference. But at the end of the day, if you're productive, you're productive. I really feel like if AK was on that 49ers offense, he'll have just as good of a season as a Christian McCaffrey. But that's just me, though. And the funny thing about Clint Kubiak, them guys ain't have Dexter Lawrence. They didn't have Daniel Jones, which was last year they didn't have Daniel Jones. Had they had Daniel Jones last year, that'd probably be a different game. And on top of that, you had the full offensive line. You didn't have Taysom, but you had Kendry. You didn't have Rashid Shaheed, but you had Scantling. Scantling been doing pretty good. That defense been giving up a lot of yards on the run. They not ran good on defense on the run game. So it's like essentially you didn't have, Olave out there, and you didn't have your Swiss Army knife Taysom Hill. So it's like, man, you had everything else and you still couldn't beat this poor team. The defense was out there keeping them pretty much out the end zone all game. And you still couldn't really just, draw up nothing and cook up nothing. Not to me, not from what I done seen. So you just got to think about that. But let's go ahead on it and switch it back to Louis Riddick, Bryan. How come you have so much confidence in him being a successful GM for us, and like give the people a little bit of insight on his background if you know any?
I mean, he's worked his way through NFL organizations. Right now, you can tell, when you watch him on ESPN and you're watching him break down the game as far as, from being a former player to being involved in NFL organizations to now being a color commentator. Some people just have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to describe what it is, but you know it when you see it. And whatever that it is, Louis Riddick he's bathing in it. Like the intelligence, the football IQ, his ability to scout talent, to dissect what needs to be taken care of, in what areas. I think he would make a phenomenal GM. I think he has the smarts, the intelligence. I think he has the relationships. I think he's well respected throughout league circles to where he has the ability to be able to, to communicate with some of these teams that maybe you want to communicate with as far as your trades are concerned, whether that be via the draft or whether that be via with players. He has the network and ability to do that. He has the, his insight. He can see the vision of what the team should be and the vision of what it has to be. Right now, I'll ask y'all this. What is the Saints' identity?
They have no identity. I truthfully, like I say it with both, like, we gonna keep it Saints related, but like the last 4 years, like, I don't know, the Saints, they went backwards. They don't do in 4 years since Breeze retired. It's nothing that the organization can like lay its hat on. Like, what do they do well? Like, they do nothing well as an organization on the football field. Like, as a team, I'm like, they have no identity. They just out there. Just 53 guys out there just playing.
Bingo. And that right there would be the difference in what the Louis Riddick era would bring to us versus what we're seeing right now post Sean Payton, and even the last year of Sean Payton. Now, I'll say this: that last year of Sean Payton, we already understand now with everything, with hindsight being 2020. Sean Payton coached that team and went 9-8 or whatever it was, and he was mentally checked out. So for him to be able to do that with everything that took place that season, and the dude didn't even want to be in New Orleans, that I'm actually impressed with him as a head coach. I still think he a bitch, but I'm actually impressed with his ability to be able to do that, considering he didn't even want to be there. That being said, that's the reason why the last 4 years there's been no vision, no culture, no identity. It's because the one person who was in control of that is gone, and it hasn't come back since. So for me, I think that's what Louis Riddick would bring to the team. He would remind everybody that New Orleans had a culture, and he would put an identity in place.
We didn't talk about Clint Kubiak. Let's go ahead and get on Rizzy. Like, Rizzy, he was the talk of the town those first 2 games. He bring a lot of energy. A lot of people felt like he could bring culture to a team. A lot of people was comparing him to Dan Campbell. A lot of people are just kind of out on him now. Like, well, me personally, I was saying, if we couldn't just find nobody, if all the guys that we wanted went elsewhere, we could just go ahead on and run it back with Rizzy until we find our guy, especially if we're not in the runnings to get a quarterback. If we're not in the runnings to get a quarterback this draft, go ahead on and wait another year. Just go ahead on and plug in some other positions that we need, and then when this next year come, go ahead on and be in a better position to get your quarterback. Be in a better position for a head coach to come and just try to do his thing with a better surface level of what he gonna be working with. Because right now it's too many things up in the air. But from what Rizzy has worked with, do y'all think he is still a good candidate in the runnings, or y'all just not sold on him at all?
I know me personally, I was never in on him being like the head coach. I get the point about like the quote unquote sacrifice, the sacrificial head coach, like the what's the guy named David Cully, like David Cully in him, while you get everything in order. I mean, you can sell me on that kind of, but yeah, I think like Rizzy at this point, Rizzy just coaching to be like a high paid. He gonna be one of the higher paid assistants next year because he's a special teams coach, and then he coaching to be like an associate head coach. Like he clearly gonna be in Denver next year if he not like with the Saints, because like they fired their special teams coach, and then he'll be like the second in command. Like say if Sean, how when he had COVID that game, he'll be the interim coach if something happened or something like that was to happen. So like, I mean, I appreciate what he did. The players, they look more involved. They look the games. The coach looked like he into the game and the players involved. But like, I never was into him far as like being the oh man, you want to play Rizzy ball for the you want Rizzy to be your future head coach? Like, nah, I would not nah. But I'll take him as an interim for the time being. But yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Rainey, and I'm of the idea that vibes were never going to carry on. Like, anytime you fire a head coach, especially a head coach that the players wanted gone, I mean, let's make no mistake about it. The players never gave up on each other. They gave up on Dennis Allen. They didn't want to play for him. So because you could always see that they never really stopped fighting. There was no infighting going on inside the locker room like that. They all, and when you listen to them on interviews, they would tell you exactly what the problem was. They didn't like Dennis Allen. Okay, cool, we get it. But vibes are only going to take you for so far. So there's always, whenever a coach gets fired, there's that initial jolt of energy from the players, right? Oh, yeah, good. We got the guy we want out of here. Now let's play ball. Well, the trick was always going to be, could Rizzy really come in and be a head coach? And the answer to that question is, nah, not in the NFL. Like your vibes will get you only but for so far. But at some point, you're gonna have to beat a good team. And the Rams proved that you're not ready yet. You're gonna be good to beat up on teams that are just as bad as you are, that are somewhat in the same neighborhood as you. But when you gotta go take on the bullies of the block, that's where you're gonna get your ass kicked. And that's exactly what happened to Rizzy. I think he's good. I think he's good for what Randy said just now. If you want to keep him for the idea of you can't get anybody else, Ben Johnson, no. Liam Cohen, no. Anybody from the Rams, no. You can't get it. And Clint Kubiak, it's not an option. So if you can't get anybody else and you have to stick with Rizzy for another year, all right, cool. But we have to understand that going into next year, the vibes are gone now. Rizzy ball is not going to work. It's not going to be, the voodoo of the special teams coordinator being able to stop teams from making, important kicks or blocking a punt or two. You can only get but for so lucky with that. Now you got to really be a head coach, and I don't see it. I don't see it there. He wasn't one in college like that. He's not going to be one in the pros. But I do agree with Rainey in the idea of he's probably going to end up in Denver, and because he ends up in Denver, he'll probably get a shot like maybe down the line, maybe a couple of years down the line, because people are going to credit him. However the Saints finish, it's going to be always be well. He finished with what he got like 4 games left. If he can win 1 out of the 4, it's going to be like, well, he did have a 500 record going, when he was the head coach of the Saints that time. So they're going to be able to use that on his resume. That's about it. But for the Saints, the only way you can convince me if you tell me he gets a 1-year tryout next year because nobody else wanted the job.
Is there anybody who's y'all leading candidate as of now? Like, has anything changed? Like, as far as the head coaching search, like, is there anybody you got your eye on? And is there any sleepers out there that people are not really talking about as much that y'all are starting to lean towards?
I know I said I think I had told you I did like Aaron Glenn, but like I'm not necessarily sold on one guy. As far as me, like really to me being a coach for the Saints, like they the one good thing this is like this go back to the idea I seen last week. They were talking about is the Saints a good job? I think for football reasons, like at least next year, and partially in 2026, depending on how they do this offseason. Like football reasons, this is the worst job in NFL for football reasons. But like if you get like the looking at other factors, as far as like they have good facilities, they have an updated stadium, good facilities, they owner will pay money and be patient. That makes it good for the stuff that coaches think about, far as like, will I have time? Like that'll make it attractive to them. But like for football reasons, this is a bad job. So really, I'm looking at like what coach is gonna get the patience, and like what coach is gonna have the time and say like they got the time and the like the ability to work with whoever's the GM to like really fix this, and not just fix it to, oh, how can we win the NFC South? No, like how can we become a legitimate contender? How can we get back to the 2017 through 2020 version of the Saints that was always in the hunt, like as a serious contender, not just a, oh, they won 9 games in the NFC South, or they won 8 games, they went 8 and 9 and made the playoffs under 500. Like, how can you get them back to being a serious team, not just a, oh, at least we got the playoff game. The season was a success. So that's pretty much like that's what I'm looking for in a coach slash GM, whoever is in place.
I'm a little bit of the opposite, bro. I want personally, I want nothing to do with anything that was Sean Payton. I think Mickey Loomis loves Sean Payton so much and misses him so much that any little thing that reminds him of Sean Payton, he's trying to cling on to. And I think, I've said it on your program before, Maul. I think it's a little bit of a pissing contest between him and Sean, and the idea of Mickey wants to be able to get a little bit more credit than what he feel like he got. Like the Jerry Jones thing. When Jerry Jones hired, when he had Jimmy Johnson as his head coach, Jerry Jones got no credit for helping to build that roster. It was all Jimmy Johnson, all Jimmy Johnson. So the beef between them became, well, I don't need Jimmy Johnson. I could win with anybody. So the worst thing that could have happened to Jerry Jones was hiring Barry Switzer, and Barry Switzer winning the Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson's guys. Because that team, anybody could have coached that team and made it to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl that year, because they were already that good and than the rest of the NFL. So the same thing is happening here. Mickey Loomis didn't get the credit he deserves. So in his mind, he needs to be able to win with anybody. So he tried that with Dennis Allen. It's time to scrub the building of everything Sean Payton, including the damn Super Bowl trophy that's collecting dust at this point, because it's lonely and it's single up in there. I mean,
you were saying that in regards to Aaron Glenn?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I don't
think Aaron Glenn is a bad coach. I don't think he's gonna be a bad coach.
That's my only gripe with him, is that like, damn, I don't want nobody. I technically don't want nobody that played for that was under Sean, but like I do think it's the fact, like factors that I like Aaron Glenn, like reasons why I like him personally is reasons why we all hate Dennis Allen. Like I think first of all, he a former player that was an all pro player, so like dudes gonna respect him. He gonna command respect. And like I think Dennis Allen just like I think he had bitch ways, like the way they benched Trevor Penning through the media, the stuff with Kendra, the stuff with A.T. Perry, like just in general, like I just think he had like low down ways that like dudes just in the NFL locker room, vets, like they not gonna respect that. That's stuff like that. I feel like Aaron Glenn wouldn't have that problem. That's why I do respect what he did, and like he doing an unbelievable coaching job in Detroit, because like that whole defense hurt. So like I know he a good coach, and then he a part of the rebuild model that he's a part of in Detroit is kind of like what the Saints would have to adapt. That was one of the reasons why I did like him, but I'm not so much just on one candidate though. That's just the reasons why I liked him.
No, respect, because I think he's going to be a great head coach. And the stupidest part of me says that maybe we should avoid him, even though I believe he's going to be a great head coach. I just don't want nothing to do with nobody that was affiliated with Sean Payton. I know they're talking about Joe Brady as well, because Joe Brady spent, a cup of coffee with the Saints, and he took the playbook to LSU, and LSU won a national championship with Joe Burrow. But I think people forget that was Joe damn Burrow, and you can see sometimes you can get credit for more than what you should. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. Jettas is Jettas. Like, sometimes it's almost undeniable that you was going to win, because you just have so much talent that you almost damn near failed into a good spot. And that's why I think, I'm not saying that Joe Brady couldn't have been a good offensive coordinator. I'm just saying it was kind of hard to F it up when you had who you had. So I don't want no parts of anything Sean Payton. If I had to choose the head coach and it couldn't be Ben Johnson, my choice would be either Liam Cohen from Tampa, or maybe the guy, the offensive coordinator for the Rams right now. He's the younger brother of the Packers head coach. I think his name is Mike LaFleur. And I wouldn't mind having somebody from the Rams organization, because I think, I think the success is what it is in the NFL. It's not a trend. It's not a trend. It's factually proven by now. The most successful coaches in the NFL are young offensive minded head coaches. I mean, besides Andy Reid, who's an old offensive minded head coach. You know who's the anomaly? The Sean McDermotts, the Mike Tomlins. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the anomalies, the D'Amico Ryans. And you can see D'Amico struggling this year with his team, with the injuries and everything going on. The anomaly is the defensive coach who can come in, find the right offensive coordinator, and everything goes well. Nah, the fact is the NFL is an offensive league. And the rules are geared to offensive football. So why the hell do you go get a defensive coach unless he's going to find the best offensive mind that's out there? And guess what they are? Waiting on head coaching jobs so they could become head coaches and not offensive coordinators for a defensive dude. Nah, give me an offensive coach all day.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, when it comes to that, I listened to a couple of Saints podcasts, and damn, a lot of people were saying the same shit. Man, this Giants game, I wasn't even much in tune with the game. This Giants game, I was doing this, I was doing that, looking at a play here, looking at a play there, and it's like, damn, you get to thinking about it, and it's like, damn, we gonna mess around and go 7-10 probably, and you just gonna remember a boring season. But when we was going 7-9 with Drew Brees, when we had them bad defenses and Drew Brees was putting up 40, at least it was fun. So I'd rather the offensive minded head coach. That's just me.
Yeah, and I think the bigger thing that's going on with the Saints right now, besides the fact that it looks so damn bad or whatever like that, is the idea of the Saints will F around and finish 7-10 and still not get a high draft pick. So you don't even have the draft to look forward to at this point, because you're like, man, damn. So you were a top 8 team, and now you're picking 13th or 15th or something like that, and
Man, we had
your
pick
record
3.
says you're garbage. Yeah, you was at pick 3 at one time. Now you drop down to 11. You win a cup. You like, if they manage to beat Washington, which I doubt, but if they beat one of the teams remaining, it's probably gonna put them somewhere in that mind frame of saying, you know what, maybe they'll end up between 13 and 15. That's not a great draft pick for you to have when you a suck ass team, because even if the Saints finish 7-10, they're not a 7-10 team. A 7-10 team means you right there on a cusp, and a game or two here or there, and you a 10-win team. That's not what it is. The Saints are a 2-win team, and that's the way they need to operate, but they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have pick 10 now. I don't think we win another game. I think we win that Raiders game because I know what the Raiders shooting for, but other than that, like, I don't think we win another game. So I think the Commanders gonna beat the shit out the Saints. Everything they do well, we do bad. As far as like stopping the run, like, I think they're gonna whip our ass. And then the Packers game gonna be really bad because that's gonna be in the cold on Monday Night Football. So, and the Bucks gonna have something to play for as far as like the division. So we ain't winning that game either. So I
Yeah.
think we 6-11, and we had pick 9 or we had pick 10. I don't think we go. If we 6-11, we either go as high as 9, stay at 10, or go 11. Because it's like the teams they
Yeah.
kind of group with each other at this point.
Yeah,
I,
man.
I'm,
It's
I'm
too
with
many
you.
teams. Go ahead, B.
Now, I was just saying, I'm with him on that shit, man. It's just like, when I look at who the Saints are playing, I'm like, if they get lucky and win one of these games that they shouldn't, it's gonna be the worst thing that could possibly happen. But I don't see them winning. And Maul, we did our predictions before the season. I don't know what made anybody out there look at the Saints with Dennis Allen and look at the roster with Derek Carr and thought this was gonna be a double-digit win team. I don't know how the hell they got that one. It was asinine to begin
Yeah,
with.
like
I said
people bring
upfront
up
it was gonna be 6-11, 7-10 at best.
people bringing up and they bring up injuries, but like this is football. Injuries are part of the game. Like that's how you could tell. Like this team wasn't built to be built to win double digit games. You got to be able to withstand injuries. This team wasn't built like that, and they not gonna be built like that under any iteration with how they work the cap. Especially when you work in the cap like that. So you got these old players that you pushing the money on, and then on top of that, you're not drafting well with it. Like you're not built to win 10 games. You're not built to do anything substantial. So I don't know where they got other than being just a fan with their fan glasses on. I don't know where people came up with, man, this team's gonna win 11 games. Like, nah, to win 11 games, you gotta be built to get through a 17 game season. The Saints ain't been built to get through a 17 game season. I say the last time they were was Sean Payton last year. That team still, I know they at one point they was missing like probably six dudes that made the Pro Bowl on offense alone, but like
NFL record, fam.
yeah,
Yeah,
and 50 and 21. But like that team
yeah.
had elite talent, other than not having Drew Brees and Michael Thomas not being there, and Drew Brees and what Trey Henderson turned out to be. But even Marcus Davenport that year was elite. Like that team had elite talent all over it that year. Like That's the last Saints team I say that was built good, that was built to like potentially do something if they had the quarterback and they had a receiving core that year. But like other than that, this team ain't been built for shit the last 3-4 years.
And
the,
then,
the
and then
problem with that team was the quarterback because
Yeah,
Jameis came out that balling and then he got hurt in that Tampa game and everything went downhill from there. But it was an NFL record that year. I want to say it was 56 players or something like that at some point in time missed time because of injuries.
yeah. Or
That
no,
was
I
the
think they
NFL
had
record.
59 players that end up like playing or something that were logging snaps. Like it was some crazy type of
Yeah, it was
thing.
some kind of crazy stat, bro. But I remember that well in the idea of Sean Payton had to work magic. And that was the year when Ian Book had to start that game because of COVID and he had never practiced before or something like that. Like he had never took a snap.
Yeah.
a lot of
Like
offensive line came in that game too, off the street, literally. Off
Yeah.
the, but you know
like
it's funny because last year the Browns they went to the playoffs and they had a fair share of injuries. And you know what's really funny? What's really funny is before the Saints had got injured, that boy, what his name is, Q, that boy, Homer Q. Before the Saints got injured, I remember distinctly that boy Joy Love had got injured very early in the season, and Q had said, "My God, don't play about me." Still salty.
oh yeah.
Still
I
salty
remember
about
that
that
tweet.
loss in Green Bay last year. Said, "My God, don't play about me." And Rainey had said, "We were shit for injuries now." That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Look, let me say this, bro. Q not a bad dude. Now, I don't know him personally, but from my interactions, we've been interacting with each other for years on Twitter. He don't seem like a bad dude, but delusional and Q are like they one and they synonymous. They one and the same. Q, seem like a good dude, but Q ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer when it comes to the Saints. That nigga lose all control of what should be logic.
I don't know, bud. Man, look, dog, them dudes got toxic positivity, bro. Him and Ralph. And
Yeah,
I don't know why I
Man,
kept
nah,
saying
that Ralph dude, bro, that's clearly like a fucking paid account at this point. Like it's
yeah,
clear. Like I go look at that dude, him, and he got a whole army behind him too. Or it's like the same dudes that look at the interactions. I don't follow him, but when I click on the tweet, it's typically the same people. I've seen them talk about like, man, we need to extend card, da 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 da, while we do the search for the quarterback. And I'm like, the way they talk, I'm like. There's a difference between people. They keep bringing up that side. They typically bring up like, well, Minnesota didn't tear it down. Minnesota also didn't ruin a cap situation for years like the Saints. Like that's why the Saints situation we can't compare it to other teams that like took this route with the paying the average quarterback and try to hope to win 10 games because they didn't like these other teams when they cap situation. Even Tampa last year when that cap situation got bad they restructured who they had to restructure, but they took a lot of dead money at the same time, and they attempted to reset. The Saints have been like all in while like pushing this money in. Like they financially fucked next year, and if they took the medicine this year, they would still be in a bad. Like they wouldn't be in a good spot for 26, but like it would be substantially better where 26 or 27 they can see like they can really see they can go into offseason with cap. You're not having all this dead money on the books with old players, but like that's why the same situation and people bringing up Minnesota, like it really don't hold any weight to me because like Loomis messed the situation up so bad, like we can't really compare it to that.
yeah, you
I
know
don't
it's
speak.
bad.
I don't speak bad about mentally ill people, bro. So I ain't gonna talk on Ralph.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad when Wolf's got to say something about you. I think Wolf had said something to Ralph today, and he was like, "Yeah, congratulations, Ralph. You're the best Saints fan." Because Ralph said something crazy out this world about Carter Day. He said something like he'd rather see Carr play than see Rattler play or something like that, even with the broken hand or something like that, because those 3 games of Rattler played were just so horrible on offense or something like that. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave that to that side of Twitter. But what y'all think of Bryan Brzee, man? Like I see a lot of people, having a split feel of this rookie, Bryan Brzee. Well, no, he's not a rookie. This is his second year, right?
Yeah,
Second
second
year.
year.
Yeah, this
Second
is
year.
his second year. Yeah. So, man, what y'all think of Bryan Brzee? He has like 8 sacks now.
Yeah, eight and a half. I want to
Seven
say.
and a half, 7.5. Yeah, you got 7.5.
Okay, man. He just blocked the special teams field goal for the win. Man. What's y'all thoughts on Bryan Brzee? Like, is he a huge piece moving forward, or is he just having a year where he's just probably one of the right spots on a average defense?
No, it depends on him. He got all pro talent right now because he can rush the passer from the middle of the field. The question is going to be whether or not he's ever going to put his hand in the dirt and try to stop the run. If he ever decides he wants to be a run stopper as well as a pass rusher, he's an all pro. And I mean instant all pro because everything is there for him. The size, the speed, the agility, the athleticism, all of it is there. He has all the tools to be one of the best D tackles in the game. It's going to depend on whether or not he wants to play the run or whether he's just looking to stat pad, get his sacks. So when it's time for him to cash in on his contract, he can. It's going to all depend on him. He has the talent. And the only other thing he has to improve is consistency. Because if he can be consistently good like this, then cool. Because last year he was a rookie trying to find his way. Okay, cool. Second year you got a little better. If next year he come out and he plays the run as well as he trying to play the pass, the Saints got one.
I know I'm probably get viewed negative on him because I said that I was like he the worst run defender in the league. He kind of is the worst run defender in the league. So I mean at this point right now I see you got 3 downs. You want the 3 down defensive tackle. I think he like a 1.5 down player right now. I think he's a solid to good pass rusher. I think he have a jump there too. Like if he became a great pass rusher, cool. I think right now he's a solid to good pass rusher. I don't think all his sacks been him winning. I think it's been like other people pressures or coverage sacks sometimes. But 7.5 sacks on the contract. When you go re up on another contract, you just go to 7.5 sacks. They not about to go pull up. They got the sack because the quarterback has 6-7 seconds. So I want to see him improve, or I want to see him jump from a solid pass rusher to a very good pass rusher, and like a borderline great pass rusher, and just become like even if he became a below average run defender, that's an improvement. So imagine if he became an average run defender, that'll really be an improvement. So that's really what I'm looking at. But I mean, I don't think he's not like he has the physicality metrics that you want from the defensive tackle, the athleticism, the size. So he could potentially, if he improved greatly, he could potentially become a blue chip type player. I'm not going to label him as that, but he's definitely like when you're looking at the job and you looking and you pointing at players, like say like, oh, what young players am I attracted to here? Far as like if I'm like we not even gonna go on the offensive side, but like what young players on the defense am I attracted to? He would be the player that I'm looking at first of any other person that they got on the team. Second to me will probably be Kool-Aid, even though I don't think his ceiling is high, but those two, but Brazil and probably Kool-Aid will be the players that I'm looking at. Like, yeah, I want to see what I want to coach those guys and try to make them household names or make them Pro Bowl level players. So that's kind of how I feel about them.
I think it's kind of what you said, Rainey. It's the idea of he has to be one or the other. Either you're going to have to be an elite pass rusher that's so great, I forget that you can't play the run, or you're going to have to, you have to, commit to playing the run much better. Because like I said, if he ever committed to playing the run as well as he plays the pass, he's an all pro. And as far as what you said just now, you said that, what young talent do they have? I probably would have picked Alante and not Kool-Aid.
I don't think Alante can cover at all. I'm sorry. I know I tried it with him. I don't think he can cover shit. Like I'm sorry. He do got a use for him on the team, but like I don't think he can cover. Like I don't think he can play with his back to the ball. Like I think he got.
I don't think he's the outside corner.
Do y'all think he'll be better at safety, like how they switch CD Deuce?
I think he's great at safety, but he's that nickel corner role that he was playing. It's made for him because it's just like playing safety.
Yeah. I think if he played safety, he would have to play in the box. And I would actually want him in the box because I want him like doing stuff like blitzing, but like I ain't gonna lie, I don't think he can cover that well even in the nickel. But in the nickel, it's better for him because you can do stuff that safety sometimes do as far as blitz. But like, yeah, I'm not when we talking about like a corner, like I'm first looking at bro, can you cover? And I don't think he can cover that good.
I'm gonna have to disagree, fam. Like the not only the stats that the film is down when he was playing in the slot. That nigga, for as much as I thought he was gonna struggle in a slot, when he embraced the role,
I'm saying
a dog.
I'm saying I can live with it. I'm saying he not like it's some slot corners. Like I bring up a guy like I don't know if you've seen that white boy in Philly, Cooper DeJean. Like watch how he covered the slot and watch how Alante covered the slot. He a better cover guy in the slot than Alante. like he better than Alante. He already as a rookie one of the best slots in the league. But like when Alante plays in a slot, the stuff that he does well, as far as like the blitzing and the physicality when he making the tackles, because he do miss a lot of tackles. We can agree on that, or we can all agree on that. But like I do think when he plays in the nickel, he have a real role. Like I can live with him in a nickel, like a nickel slash safety type role. That's kind of how I view him. Just I hope they stop I hope they not sold on the outside corner thing. Like
I don't know if I would say Cooper DeJean is better than him now. I would say that I think Cooper is hidden by the fact that he got a lot of talent around him.
That's true.
that's fair.
That's true. Because we ain't getting no pass rush, man. We were saying all off season, man. If Chase Young can stay healthy, Chase Young been healthy as an ox and been doing shit.
Man,
But,
that right there, man. Look, that was a bad signing for $13 million for you to actually get a dude who almost gets sacks. I mean, you could have just gave. You could have.
Yeah,
They
was talking about that this week. He had 12 pressures. He was high. He was highly graded. Like he did get pressure, but I'm like, damn, bro, you got to get some. You got to finish too. Like pressures don't pay the bills.
Man, I'm so glad you said that, bro, because I'm so tired of hearing about almost getting there. You know what, man? I had a dream last night. I almost had a threesome with Nia Long and Regina Hall, man. Come on, can you stop that? Come on, man. Like almost don't
finish
count.
it.
Not exactly. That
But,
alarm
like,
clock went off.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I know we always talk about man. We keep on changing players from this position to this position, but I think he'll be good if he was like the next Honey Badger. Honey Badger could just coach him up or whatnot. But apparently, he told me he ain't trying to play safety. So I ain't.
Honey Badger got an all pro from the nickel and free safety in the same season. Like I ain't never gonna put them type of standards on a lot of players, but just I feel like that slot position, that slot slash safety role,
But
or
both
him
of
on
them
the field in that
disruptive,
role.
though.
What you said?
They both disruptive though. Alante, one of the most disruptive players in the league right
I
now.
know, but I'm saying like Honey Badger that year when he was playing, like he had elite tape at free safety, covering like being the last line of defense and in the nickel, like that type of stuff. Where I don't see that from Alante. Like
I think Alante got he has good range and he has good comeback speed. Now, as far as him tracking the ball back there, that remains to be seen.
yeah, I wish
If CD could do it, I think Alante could do it. That just
you
put
said
it
what
like,
CD can do.
if CD could do it, I think Alante could do it. But that goes back to what Bryan said. The white boy, he's probably looking good because he has so much talent around him. Maybe the same with CD. So we'll have to see. Man. It's gonna be interesting what they gonna do with Kool-Aid and Alante moving forward. And we still got Rico Payton out there. So
I think Kool-Aid is an outside corner. I don't know if he a CB1, but like I think he clearly an outside corner. I think Alante is a nickel that if somebody got hurt, you can put him outside, but he's a nickel slash safety. He's the fifth DB that you keeping on the field. He brings stuff to the field. Like when I say he can't cover, like I don't think he can cover, especially like on the outside, but like he brings stuff to the field that I'll value. So like I'm not gonna shit on him that much, but I do think that I don't see outside corner, but he do got a role on a team.
yeah, man, it's other Saints YouTubers on right now. Appreciate everybody who's in the chat right now, rocking out with us. If you like the content, go ahead on and subscribe. If you like the content, go ahead on and hit the like button. It helps the channel out. I have a few more questions for these guys, and I'll let them go. But if y'all have any questions for them, go ahead on and put them down in the chat right now, and we'll get to them as soon as possible. I've seen a few questions already in the chat. I'll get to it as soon as possible. But if anybody has any more questions for these guys, go ahead on and type your question down in the chat, and we'll get to it as soon as possible once I finish up my last few questions for you guys. But we talked about a second-year player, Bryan Brazil. Another second-year player, Jank Hayner. He came in a game once Carr got injured. Do y'all think he's a lock at, starting the next game? And, who would y'all like to see starting? Being that we already seen Spencer Rattler, but we did see Spencer Rattler when the team was just injured. Yes, I'm going to use injuries for a rookie. I won't use him for a guy that got a big contract who's supposed to overcome injuries, but I will use it for a rookie going against a hot Tampa Bay team, going against one of the best defenses in the Broncos and the Chargers. Yes, I will give excuses for that, but what do y'all feel about who should be starting at the quarterback position this next game? It should be Hayner or Rattler.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't really care who start. it, I know this time though they don't have no none of the guys. They don't have Chris Olave obviously, but like I guess playing with the starting line would be would be good for them, which they didn't have last time. It was like you know a bunch of just randoms on the line. So like I guess playing with Eric McCoy would be cool, but I don't. I think some of these Saints fans, especially that certain side, like they just shit on rookies like completely. Like the dude played. Look, I don't think Spencer Rattler is the Saints' long term quarterback. I don't think Jake Hayner is, but I'm not about to like go shit on a fourth, fifth round rookie because they didn't play as good as a 11-year vet in a chaotic circumstance. Like that's what I'm not going to do. So I mean, I wish the whoever plays, I wish them luck. I know it's going to be bad. Like I don't expect them to play good with what's around them, skill wise, but I hope they do as good as possible for them. I don't think we're gonna win the games, but like I said, whoever goes out there, I'm not going to shit on a rookie and a second year player that don't have the highest like ceiling. Wow, like this is a bad team. Like we lost games with Carr, we lost games with Rattler, we lost games with Hayner. Like I'm not gonna go shit on. I'm not gonna compare the 24-year-old to the 34-year-old.
Right.
For me, man, I actually want Jake to start. Not because I'm not sold on Spencer. Now I'm with Rainey. I don't know anymore if Spencer is going to be like some type of long term answer. But for me, it's petty reasons. I do believe the Commanders are going to beat the dog shit out of the Saints, and I believe that because one, Dan Quinn don't like the Saints very much. They got him fired when he was in Atlanta. That's a that's revenge for him. That's the team that got him up out of there. And two, I just think with the way the Commanders are built and what they do well is what Rainey said. What they do well, the Saints do poorly. So I just think the game is going to be a wash anyway. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying I want to see. I want to see Jake struggle for the sake of seeing Jake struggle. I want to see Jake struggle because there's a certain contingent of the fan base that just wouldn't allow Spencer to go out there and be a rookie. They
Dude,
had to make it seem like he was worse than often what it was. First of all, let's call it what it is. The Saints should have won that Tampa Bay game. So he would have been 1-2, and then of course he saw the best two defenses and two of the best two defenses in the league. Denver with their pass rush, and at the time the Chargers were like like the number one scoring defense in the NFL. So, and you doing all of that without a healthy team around you as a rookie. I just want to see Jake struggle and go out there and play poorly, simply so it can shut that portion of the fan base up that wouldn't give Spencer the leeway that he needed. Now, if Spencer should start, so be it. It is what it is. Because I would say at this point, you either as Darren Rizzi, Dennis Allen, Clint Kubiak, Mickey Loomis, whoever the hell is in charge of this decision, at this point, you should know who you want going forward. It's either going to be Jake or it's going to be Spencer, and whoever it is, let them go. Let them go till Derek Carr can come back. Because in my opinion, Derek Carr coming back for that Raiders game. If you don't play no other game in the season, he gonna play that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think Josh Allen actually played through the injury Carr is playing with right. Will be playing with, so he should play. So we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting for a storyline because
they really shouldn't let him play. Like that's
I think because of that injury clause in his contract, I definitely wouldn't let him out there. But truthfully, the Saints gonna keep him anyway, so it really don't matter.
yeah, man. Got one comment up there right there about you, Bryan. Got Wine 1K. Says not a question, but Bryan funny. I be cracking up when he tweets and stuff. Great dude.
Oh man, salute, bro. I appreciate that, man. I honestly do try to inject a little bit of humor, bro, because sometimes we gotta laugh from wanting to choke somebody because the Saints will piss you off and the Pelicans ain't no better.
Oh man, don't even get me started on them. But all right, man, we got a top 10 or a top 11 pick at the moment. Who would y'all like to draft? Given the circumstances and everything that's led up to this point, like, is there anybody y'all leaning towards? Is there any dark horses that y'all see that y'all starting to lean towards more within recent weeks?
number one player on the board for me, but we even won too many games. Is now this is a blue chip play, like a straight up blue chip prospect. Abdul, I mean, it's Mason Graham, the white boy from Michigan, the defensive tackle. That's my number one player on the board overall for like who I want the Saints to get. But we didn't win too many games probably and I don't think it's possible at the point unless unless something like I mean, Brian, you probably seen it how Warren Sapp dropped in the draft. That was before I was born with the cocaine accusations. Like that's
Yeah,
the only way
yeah.
he'll fall to us. But I mean,
Jalen
shit, I
Carter.
ain't trying to. I ain't trying to put that on somebody on a kid chasing his dream, but shit, if it helped us, I wish it could, cause man, that
Jalen Carter
dude
drop shit.
who
Jalen
oh
Carter.
yeah, I mean that's what we need. That like, look, like I told you, I like Brizzy. This right here, to me, this the white Jalen Carter, damn near.
Mm.
Yeah, I like him a lot, bro. But I'm not gonna, following your footsteps with that one because I actually love him for the Saints. I think putting him next to Brazil because for me,
Yeah,
I feel like the Saints have to build in the trenches.
yeah.
You're not gonna get a chance at Will Campbell. That's gonna be gone. And if you do that, then you're basically giving up on Trevor Penning, or you're gonna
They
try to move him to guard, and he's not a guard. So
they saying Will Campbell. A lot of people they don't know how high he go. I keep up with the draft like a lot. He's gonna go in the first round, but a lot of people see him. They project him to play guard. Like they said, his arm, because they get with that arm length. His arms are smaller than Fuaga's evens, and like he don't have Fuaga athleticism that Fuaga has. So they project him to be a guard. Now they project him to be a Pro Bowl, like the guards he compared to or getting comp to. He'll be a Pro Bowl caliber guard, but like that's what they a lot of people have him playing guard in the league. So
and if you draft the guard in the top 10, the Saints are a bunch of damn
yeah, you
idiots.
can't. I feel like at the start of the rebuild, I love Will Campbell. I can't take a guard like because I feel like I said, I feel like we in a rebuild. It's hard for me to take a guard, a running back, or a tight end at the top with my first pick at the start of a rebuild, unless they slightly traded back and recouped another pick. Like say if they traded back like 6 spots and got another third and a fourth round pick, then I can do it. But
Then
it's hard for me to do it in the top 10.
and I'm about to piss you off because first of all, I don't think the Saints are going to end up in the top 10, but I'm about to piss you off because I want
Ashton
Genty.
Jennings.
Yep, give me
I
Jenny.
like Jenny too, man.
Give me Jenny, man.
I can't hate on it. I can't the guard thing would piss me off. Like if you taking a dude that never played guard, but he project to be a guard. Now he project to be a pro bowler. But that would piss me off taking Will, even though as an LSU fan, that'll piss me off taking a guard. But Genty, you can talk me into Genty. That dude good, man.
Is this
Yeah.
is that because of the success with Barkley and Henry?
It's
Oh,
not just
Genty?
Barkley. It's not just Barkley. It's not just Barkley and Henry. The Falcons grabbed one with Bijan Robinson. I think he has the same type of elite breakaway speed. And not to mention that, but Rainey mentioned it earlier. You got Kendre Miller, who's unreliable. He flashes, but he's unreliable. You got Jamal Williams, who I can't understand why the hell he's still on the
Hey,
team.
he off the he off the team. He off the team immediately when the season over. So like
Bingo.
I ain't
And
even counting him at this point.
Bingo. And then of course so now we're talking about we're down to one running back because Taysom Hill is also gone. So now you're talking about one running back who's a 30+ year old running back in Alvin Kamara, who you shouldn't have gave 25 million to. So for me, yeah, you go get you go get Genty and you basically telling him, look, bro, the keys to the kingdom is yours. Alvin, you gonna be our backup. Kendra, you gonna back them up, and we're gonna go from there.
Genty a 3 down player too. Like I don't like
Yes, sir.
they didn't they haven't used it as much this year. But like that dude had 700 yards receiving last year from the
Yeah.
running back position, along with 1,500 yards rushing.
And with the
If
way the
you go
Saints
watch him
want to
play on,
play,
yeah, go watch him play on third down. Like Alvin Kamara for about the last couple of years ain't trying to pass protect. Go watch what that dude walk into the league, one of the five best third down backs far as like blitz pickup in the league immediately.
yeah. And the good thing about scheme wise, depending on who the Saints pick up, and who the Saints pick up. But if they go Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn, 9 times out of 10, both of those guys are going to bring in the same type of zone running blocking scheme that the Saints are doing right now. If you go Liam Cohen, they go do the same thing. Or if you bring in the dude from the Rams, it's damn near the same thing. So if you pick any one of those head coaches, you have a head coach whose scheme for a running back fits exactly what the Saints want to do moving forward. Oh man, give me Genty all day long.
Yeah. I think one of I like the guy from Penn State, the DN Carter. I like him. He might be a little too high where we at right now. If this guy fell, I would draft if he fell to us and certain dudes was gone, I'd draft the cornerback from Michigan. I think he like a I think he I think it would be like getting Lattimore all over again.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Will Johnson. I think it would be like getting Lattimore all over again. And at a certain point, you take the best available player. So I'm high on him. The receivers, this not a strong receiving class. Like when we took Olave, I like T Mac and his size. But I don't know if these guys, other than like maybe because Travis Hunter's playing corner in the league primarily with some offensive package, but he's gonna be a primary corner. So it's hard for me to even include him. Like I don't like these receivers as much as I like, say, like when we took Olave, I like Garrett Wilson, I like Drake London a lot. Not for us, but I like them a lot. But I don't. This not that level of receiving class. But I would take the Arizona receiver. Say if we had 11 or 12, I'll take him. I don't know how I feel about Luther Burden in the top 10 or top 12 pick on Luther Burden because with those Debo Samuel type players, like the thing at the end, you got to be creative with them, but like at a certain point, them guys are gonna have to be able to win one-on-one routes, and like that be my concern with them type of players. So that's kind of how I look at it. But I got like three players that I really like, as far as like Mason Graham, Abdul, and Will Johnson. But we can go. We got so many needs though. Before I finish, we got so many needs that like I can't blame them for going a lot of different routes. They can go
I like
anything.
Gen-
Damn near.
I like Genty. I like your boy from Georgia, man. I think Mikael Williams. I like him as an edge rusher, a pass
Yeah,
rusher, man. Because the Saints gonna need that. Because I'm still
yeah,
not sold on Chase, and I don't think Grando does good enough for you to be, for you to be
yeah.
content and complacent with that
Grando's a
position.
two, man. Grando a two.
Yeah,
He like a
yeah. So
two,
I don't.
might be a three on certain teams, but he a clear. He definitely a two. He a clear guy that's in your rotation. But like I think he a two. He like a better version of Alex Okafor, kind of to me. Like when we had him, I think he a better version of that.
Yes,
Hmm. Yeah, man. I feel
I
like
wouldn't
this.
mind see the Saints going wide receiver round two if they're gonna do it.
Yeah, this a tricky wide receiver class because this is the first one where like it just don't feel strong to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have a lot of needs. Like Randy said, man. No matter what route we go, we could, you know, hit on any different type of route because we have so many needs. So long as it's not no injury prone player that we never heard of. As long as they get a guy with a big name that played in a big program, I think we'll be fine. But is there any quarterbacks that you guys think we could shoot for this draft? And is there any like maybe dog horses if we don't have that high pick? Well, we likely don't have that high pick, but is there any dark horses like if the guy from Alabama falls or anything like y'all feel like we could try to hit on one of these guys like how the Eagles hit on Jalen Hurts or shoot Bo Nix. I mean he was a first round pick, but wasn't a lot of people just really sold on him. But Sean Payton got him looking pretty decent, and he barely has any weapons over there. So, is there any quarterbacks that y'all looking at right now?
Go ahead, Randy. You can take this one first, fam.
I know with me, I don't know, man. I mean, I think Shador and Cam is going like probably top two, probably New York and the Raiders. So after that, you get into like legitimately no man's land. Cause
You're not
like
high on Quentin Ewers?
Quinn Ewers suck. Quinn Ewers is a creation of that them guys that in as prospects he was a high ranked prospect, and they like these guys, they like hype up anything that was playing like what Patrick Mahomes was playing like at that time. Even Mahomes don't play like that no more. Like he didn't evolve as a game. Like he didn't evolve this game in so many ways. That's them gunslingers. Like dude, Quinn Ewers is not good. Carson Beck, he sucked. Like if you watch the SEC championship, that game just shows you them dudes just third, fourth round picks at best. Like day two picks that can maybe be a high end backup, low end starter. Like them dudes not good. Milrow, at least he got the run to lean on. Like as far as like the ability to run the ball, he can lean on that. But like I tried with Milrow, I'm out. So I couldn't do
Even in
it.
the second
Not in the
round?
first round. In the second, we can talk. But the first, hell nah. In the second, though, we can have a conversation.
So you
But
think this
you're gonna have to have a good coach for him. Like
is this
you can't
ceiling higher
bullshit
than
around with
Fitz?
him. Who?
Is this ceiling higher than Rattlers?
To me, yeah, because I think he coming to the league. like at baseline, he gonna be a top 5 runner from his position. I think he physically got like he have a big arm. I don't know if he probably not accurate with that arm, but like I don't think he really have like athletic limitations at all. And I know he's gonna come into the league like a top 5 runner. Like, and I mean, that's the one thing they don't talk about. They talk about those running quarterbacks running a lot, but like, bro, they can carry a run game. Like I watch, we gonna see it this week. I watched Jaden Dan. I watched a lot of Commanders because I like Jaden, and they got Lattimore now, obviously, and that's my favorite player. But like, I didn't see 4 running backs playing that system next to Jaden, and everybody ate because everybody looking at the quarterback. And like, that's one thing I do think that maybe Jalen Milroe can hang his hat on, but like, I don't know, man.
Is Dylan Graber the other guy who's the Heisman runner?
Yeah,
He's the quarterback.
yeah.
Is he coming out this draft?
I mean, he got to. He old as shit. This is
How
6th
old
year
he
in
is?
college.
How old he is?
I mean, fuck, he older than Bo Nix.
He might be like 27, bro. Like he old.
Like,
How
I
old
don't.
Bo
Let me
Nix?
see. Hold on.
How old Bo Nix was?
Bo Nix turned 25 like in 2 months. Like Bo Nix is legitimately old, but like these dudes play more. Let me see. Dylan Gabriel turned 24 in like 3 weeks, man. Like he legitimately did. He did 6
I
years,
like
bro.
Bo
He
Nix.
dog.
I
Bo
like
Nix
them
was.
gamer quarterbacks. I like Bo Nix. I like Baker Mayfield. I like them gamer quarterbacks. What his name is called? What he did on 2nd and 10, I think Carr just be trying to have people like him so much, and I just think he just did that for the people to like him. I don't think he really wanted to do that. I really don't. But see, Baker and Bo Nix, that's just in their DNA. They're gonna do that. I like them gamer quarterbacks, bro. I just do.
I think that was one of the lowest IQ plays, most unnecessary dumb shit I ever seen. Bro, it was 2nd down, and it was clearly about to be go out of bounds to make it 3rd and 2. Like, who does that?
Derek Carr.
Yeah, Derek. Yeah, I mean that call wreck right there was just stupid, man.
Man,
Like
I
that.
was laughing so hard when he
But
did that shit, man.
All right,
I
BC.
agree with y'all on the idea that I think that I think Cole did it on purpose, bro. I think he did. I think that was ego driven. I think when Cole came out there for that press conference and said we got guys that can do what Taysom can do, I think that was him basically saying I can run too. Like no, you can't, bro, and you just proved it. But as far as quarterbacks are concerned,
Brees did it too.
give me Kyle McCord in the 2nd or 3rd round, and I'm good.
Who?
Kyle McCord, he played quarterback for Syracuse.
He
Give
used
me
to
that.
be the quarterback that they hated at Ohio State
Man, that
last year
boy that
because
got
they
to
lost to
Syracuse
Michigan.
and got it's almost like what happened with Bo Nix. Bo Nix was trash when he was in the SEC. Got out there to Oregon, learned how to play quarterback. All of a sudden, boom, Jalen Hurts, a quarterback. Couldn't he struggled at Alabama? Got benched for Tua, put back out there, got benched again. Sent that boy to Oklahoma, learned how to play quarterback. Bow, took off. I'm like, man, give me Kyle McCord. Something about him, and it ain't just the fact that he be rapping, and all of that stuff like that, man, like rapping, street lyrics and shit like that. It ain't none of that. That boy got game. That boy can ball, man. I think that's a bad white boy right there. No Quinn Ewers, no. What's the boy in Georgia? I don't want none of
Carson
that.
Beck, yeah, them
Yeah,
dudes,
I don't
yeah.
want none of that. Give me Kyle McCord, and I'm good. And I don't even think he gonna be like all pro type, but I believe he got something they could build on with him if they're gonna take him.
Who's a league comparison? Because I don't watch college.
Oh man, that's a good one.
I try to look up something to see if I see anything of what they said on him.
Let me think. Kyle McCord, who would he be compared to? Ooh,
Is he a runner? Is he a pocket dude?
No,
He a pocket
he a
guy.
passer with athletic ability. I would say, man, maybe he's Jordan Love like.
Okay. Jared Goff?
Golf is a little bit more statuesque. Like golf ain't about to take off and run like that. You know what I'm saying? Like golf play more like Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady did. They got a little bit of mobility, but they ain't about to do it like that. Nah, I think he more like.
I'm gonna have to look him up because I haven't heard anything about him. So I don't watch college. For the people like me, we only go look up people who kind of getting a little hype.
Yeah, Kyle McCord, one of them ones, man. Like I said, he probably on that Jordan Love type of ball game.
Yeah, Y1K just said it. He said, I think he's a Joy Love type player.
Yeah, I think so. I think he Jordan Love. If I had to guess on it, man, I say that's a good count for him. And I'm not one
Brandon.
of them dudes that always count white boys and white boys or black, quarterbacks for black quarterbacks. Look, if you play like this dude and not see it, that's what it is. I think he has some Jordan love to his game. I definitely think if you got a good offensive mind, that's why I keep talking about offensive quarterback, offensive coaches or whatever like that. You get a Ben Johnson, you get you a Liam Cohen, you get you a Mike LaFleur, you get you one of these boys, man, that know how to coach quarterbacks, and you pick a Kyle McCord in the second or third round. Oh
So
yeah,
he
man, you
so
got
he like
something.
he like a Baker then, probably.
He's a gamer, but he ain't gunslinger. Like Baker got gunslinger to him. I don't think Kyle McCord like that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, well, I hope he ain't no, I hope he ain't a young Derek Cole.
But he ain't no Derek Carr in him. Ain't no Derek
Oh,
Carr in him. He ain't one of them. He ain't one of them. He like what it is that you know how sometimes, bro, like all right, let's say this. Both I'm pretty sure y'all can play spades.
yeah.
You know how to play your hand when you got a good spades hand in order to get that proof on the table. That's him. He gonna risk it, but he calculated with his risk.
All right.
That's why I say he like Jordan Love.
Okay.
It's a calculated risk taker, and the boy can ball, bro. I like him a lot when I seen what he doing up there in Syracuse. And I'm a degenerate gambler, so I bet on Syracuse ball too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead on and look him up and do my research on him. I'm gonna definitely keep that name in mind. Kyle McCoy. Kyle McCoy. All right, so yeah, man. If y'all like the stream, go ahead on and hit the like button. If y'all like the stream, go ahead on and subscribe. If y'all got any questions before I let these guys go, write them down in the chat right now. Before I let these guys go, I have one more question for these guys, and I'm gonna just let y'all guys shoot off with y'all last question before I let them go. But what y'all think about the division so far, man? We got the Panthers. Bryce Young looking like he's coming alive right now. We got Baker Mayfield. He's that gamer. I kept saying the Bucks is going to walk them Falcons down, and they walking the Falcons down right now. Looking at them schedules, and the Falcons are just falconing right now. I'm not sure if they're going to try to go to Phoenix or not, man. Who do y'all got winning this division, and what do y'all see for the foreseeable future next year with this division? Like, I think that's the reason. That's another reason why the Saints are going to try to run this whole thing back, probably just because of the division. Like, what's y'all thoughts?
Exactly what you just said. The division is trash. It's gonna be trash again next year. It was trash last year, and I think that's the only reason why Mickey Loomis can sit there, stick his chest out, and be like, "Well, just give me a second. I'll get it together." Like, if you got to count on everybody else being awful just so you can be good, that's a problem. And the crazy thing is that if you a D student in a room full of F students, you really ain't that damn smart. And that's exactly what the Saints are right now. They are the D student in a room full of F students. They give you like nothing about them says they're going to be better moving forward. So while you sitting there counting on the rest of the division being bad, at least they're building and they have the cap space to do so. Tampa took a step back. I think Rainey mentioned it earlier. Tampa took a step back so they could take a couple of steps forward. The Saints were still refusing to take that first step back. They don't even want to admit that they're in a rebuild. So I think the Panthers, we see what they're doing now. They got their head coach in place. It took him a little time to get it together with Bryce Young. Now you can see they have that synergy going. The Falcons, Kirk Cousins is an absolute dumpster fire. He's Derek Carr 2.0. Hell, they twins when you look at them. We knew that going in, and they paid him all that money, but they were still smart enough to stash Penix. So here we are now talking about the Saints.
If yeah, it feel like every team got a. It feel like every team got like I don't know if how much y'all have watched the Panthers probably since I'm gonna go since the game before they beat before they got Dennis Allen fired. Bro, that team plays good football. Like you can watch them play how they play against the Eagles. That's the best
Yep.
3-win team in the league. Like you see the coaching with far as like Bryce Young, and you see that team don't have talent, and you see like they getting all of it out that talent, especially on they don't have defensive talent. So like, and you see it. Like you see them dudes like fighting for them. So like I think, and they have cap space. They free agent signs that they signed this year for the most part was really good, especially them two dudes on the line. Like that interior
Yeah.
line, they got a rep. Type in Robert Hunt on Twitter, man. Look, Jalen Carter, he blocked Jalen Carter ass to the ground. Like a lot of people don't
Yeah.
do that to Jalen Carter 1-on-1. Like they free agent sign is hit, so they are feisty 3-win team. They're not good. I don't think they're gonna be good next year. But if they won 7 games, I wouldn't be surprised next year because they're gonna have the money to add people. The only thing that's sucking their instincts is like the running back that they took high in the draft this year. Like he tore the same ACL again, so like he gonna miss all of next year. That look like a dead pick right now. But like I see it, even with the Falcons, like the Falcons don't have a lot of draft picks. They don't got a lot of. They gonna have some cap space, but not a lot. but they do have the out. Like they can trade Kirk Cousins if they want to. Now he get his full money guarantee. He's gonna be like Russell Wilson, but like they can move off him if they want. So they do have the out. The Bucks. I don't think the Bucks will be a contender, but that Bucks team, shit, they the only team to beat the Lions and the Eagles this year. They beat both of them back to back. Like you see it. Sometimes now it depends on what Baker you get, because sometimes you got Baker this week. If you get that Baker, then you're gonna be in a fight. But like they in a better position than the Saints, damn, pretty much.
Everybody is. And the crazy thing
Everybody
is,
is.
when you mentioned Carolina, when you said they you know what they remind me of? Not that I did. I think they're gonna make that kind of leap. They remind me of Detroit. We got
Because
our
Detroit
coach
when Detroit, like how they
when they
was,
got Dan Campbell.
yeah.
It remind you can see what everybody else in the NFC South is building except the Saints. It looked like everybody else is taking those steps forward except the Saints. Carolina taking their lumps right now. Tampa, like Carolina's crazy because Carolina got rid of like some of their best players in the offseason and said, you know what, we're gonna go ahead on and we're gonna suck, but we're gonna believe in our coach and we're gonna hold on to him and he gonna get him right. And that's exactly what it looks like. The same
I
thing
think
with Tampa.
I think Terry Fontenot might get fired. I was listening to the radio here. I think he might get fired though.
Terry Fontenot. I'm gonna tell you how I knew Terry Fontenot was gonna be the scapegoat for everything that was bad in Atlanta. When they hired Raheem Morris, it looked like they were basically putting Terry Fontenot on the back burner because it's like Arthur Smith and I forgot. I want to say it might have been Rich McKay. Was like, nah, we control this now, and not only do we control it, but we're gonna also let Raheem get his say as well. So if you're gonna do that, so you got the owner who's sticking his nose in the shit. You got Rich McKay, who was like the president, who's sticking his nose in it, and now you telling me that the head coach gonna have personnel say? What the hell do you even need the GM for?
Rich McKay, they version of Mickey Loomis up here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think Terry Fontenot gonna be the odd man out. Wouldn't surprise me if he was fired either, fam.
All right, we're gonna get into these questions right now. If y'all got any questions before I let these guys go ahead on and type them down in the comment section below, we about to run through them real quick right now. We got Wix TV said, do y'all think the new coach gonna want to stick with Carr?
No, but I think he's gonna be forced to.
I think that's gonna tell you. I think that's gonna be the fight as far as the level of head coach you get, or because I don't think a head coach is gonna want to keep a. Like a lot of people don't know, like his contract has a pay increase next year. Like, yes. I don't think you're gonna want to. If you're looking at like this team bad with him on 30 million, how the fuck you think they're gonna be when he gets
46?
When he on average 40? Because I think it's next year is 40. That last year they keep saying it's fake. They keep saying the last year fake, but if you keep him if you keep him next year, that last year not fake. So again, I don't think that might judge the level of coach you think you getting. So. I don't think a good coach is going to want to hitch his wagon to Derek Carr. They not like Dennis Allen, who was getting all sassy up there like, ooh, I got Derek Carr. Like, I don't think like Aaron Glenn not going to want to hitch his wagon to Derek Carr. I don't think Ben Johnson going to want to have a Derek Carr level quarterback where they stuck with the salary like that.
And the most important thing is if the offensive line is healthy next year, they'll be one of they should be based on if Trevor Penning takes a step forward and he gets a little bit better. And of course, Fuaga is going to be a little more comfortable in that left tackle spot. You got McCoy in the middle, Ruiz on that side. If Lucas Patrick, if you keep him around, man, you might have one of the better offensive lines in the division. Damn well might even be the conference. So if you have it like that, then you damn sure not going to want Derek Carr back there because now you can't blame it on the offensive line being bad. It's your quarterback. And ain't no head coach coming in gonna want like Randy said, the head coach ain't gonna want his wagon to no Derek Carr, who's basically $150 million, Andy Dalton.
Yeah, man. Y'all, before I let y'all go, y'all want to make a little comment on the Pelicans right across the street, man?
I think they came to New Orleans when I was in kindergarten. This is like the worst fucking organization since I was 5. I'm gonna go them and the Raiders. And even in the Raiders, when I was in kindergarten, went to the Super Bowl. So like they can hang their hat on that, but like they one of the worst organizations in American sports. It is what it is. You don't want it to be like that, but I know I've seen something about what's the guy named the Houston Rockets owner wanting to buy the Saints, and people talking about, oh, is the team gonna move? I think the Saints good in New Orleans. I don't think the Saints moving. I think they use that shit as a scare tactic. With the Pelicans, as far as like the the problems with the arena, as far as like the lease running or almost about to be out, like, and then just overall the 23 years they've been here, like, I think that team in trouble. I think if you want basketball in New Orleans, you're gonna have to just pray because I don't see no light on that situation. But I hope the Zion thing is almost at its end, and I hope they can trade Brandon, um, ship CJ out to a team that's more professional than this operation that we run in. But yeah, at this point, man, just pray that New Orleans have basketball within 5 years because it don't look good.
Yeah, bro. Like when it comes to the Pelicans, bro, everything has to change and it has to start from ownership on down. One, do I think Gail should sell the team? Hell yeah. Who's gonna buy the team is one thing, and I think the Pelicans are they're not in the same situation as the Saints. If the Saints get sold, I think there's a provision that you must keep the team. And I want to say it's 10 years. I
It's
want to
like
say
I
it's
think
10
it's
years.
20. It's like I think it's
It
like
might be.
20. It's a because I read that new stuff. Like it's a big provision in that. Like,
Yes.
but they
It
but
might it
they
might be
have but
20 years.
yeah, like the Superdome. I know it's old, but like man, that's for an old stadium. That stadium is up to date. Like especially with the new renovation. Like they have good facilities as far as like they practice facility. But like I think like the Saints is fine and they got a good market. Like they got all of Louisiana, they got Mississippi, half of Alabama, and even some parts of Florida and maybe some parts of Arkansas. Like they have a good fan base and they got an area that they can control. And they got a big fan base and the market watches football. So like the Saints is fine. But like the Pelicans, like that shit concerning as far as them. Like
The
I'm
Pelicans
you
waited too little, too late in order to embrace the fan base the proper way. You should
yeah.
have never put your basketball product behind a paywall. That was dumb as fuck. So excuse me, my bad, bro. I ain't mean to. I know you're on YouTube and
Nah,
stuff
you
like that.
good.
I ain't mean to cut,
You good.
but
You good.
that was dumb as hell for them to turn around and basically put their product behind a paywall when you're trying to increase your fan base. The reason why the Saints succeed is much to what Rainey said a moment ago. The Saints are not just the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are the Gulf Coast Saints from Beaumont, maybe even parts of Houston, from all the way stretching to Florida and it's to Pensacola, the Pensacola area. A lot of that is Saints country. And that's why the Saints succeed. Because even those people who in Pensacola will take the 3-4 hour drive to come and watch the Saints play. But you're not doing that for the Pelicans because you hit them the whole time. There was that one time which you could not watch the Pelicans games if you lived on the North Shore. That was just idiotic to me. We're talking about a 30-minute drive from the stadium, and you couldn't even watch the games. So for me, I feel like the Pelicans have been done wrong the entire time they've been here. From the time when they made them the Hornets to the time when they changed the name to the Pelicans. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't want no damn Pelicans as the name. I didn't. I've embraced it, but I didn't like the
You
name.
supposed to go buy that Jazz name back, man. You supposed to do
So,
anything you
yeah,
can to get that.
if they would have took the Jazz, I'd have been cool. If they would have tried to get it back, because the Hornets got their name back. If they would have embraced the Brass and say, you know what? At once upon a time there was a hockey team called the Brass. We can't be the Jazz no more. Let's take the Brass. If they would have said something like, "We gonna be the Crew," the Bounce, the Soul, whatever, something could have been better than the Pelicans. All right, whatever. The team colors, I think it should have played off for the Saints. But if you want to go with your own color scheme, so be it. It's whatever. The idea of it all is that the Pelicans have been treated like a second-class citizens the entire time they've been along with the aligned with New Orleans. And at some point, if you're not gonna make them a priority, then you need to sell a team. And that's where I'm at with it. And if the team moves in 5 or 10 years, it'll be a tragedy. But I don't think that New Orleans deserves not the Pelicans fans, but the ownership. I don't think they deserve a good product, and that's probably why they curse like that. And every time you blink your eyes, somebody injured on injured reserve.
So y'all said a lot of the problems. Can y'all like give a solution? Like what could this team do to just fix this? And like Zion Williamson, like is he just a lost cause at this point when it comes to his health, or when if he does get traded, will he just be healthy as an ox? Like it's just his decision making.
I think it's twofold. I think one part of it is that this is how you got to look at Zion. At one time, you could blame it on his weight, his conditioning, his health. At this point, it seems like you're gonna have to Joel Embiid, Steph Curry this thing. You're gonna have to wait it out to see what happens. In order to get to see what you get to see from him. Because when he's healthy, you can see it, but he never stays healthy. Same thing with Brandon Ingram. So it can't be just a Zion thing, because why in the hell Brandon Ingram is 100 pounds lighter and he can't stay healthy either? So to me, that's when it comes to, it's no longer a thing about your conditioning. Now it's the idea of, well, why the hell don't you spend whatever you got to spend to make sure your body's in top physical shape, If LeBron can spend $1 million on his body, so can Brandon Ingram, so can Zion Williamson, and go from there. So the solution would be you force them. You no longer let them be grown men. You treat them like the babies that they've been. You tell them everything they gonna do, and if they not gonna do it, then I'm gonna do the best thing I could do for you. I'm gonna pay you. But I'm gonna pay you to sit your ass on the bench and watch basketball. Because as long as you sitting on the bench, you can't show nobody else you can ball either. So now nobody ain't gonna ball. I ain't gonna ball, you ain't gonna ball, and nobody else ain't gonna see your ass ball. Sit on the bench until you get your mind right. And that's how you fix the problem. I'm firing Willie Green. Willie Green not a good coach. He's never been a good coach. He was always a rah-rah, let me try to get everybody motivated. He's not that. Let the pastor go to church. Let me get me a basketball coach. They should have went got Ime Udoka when they had the chance. That would have been a big difference. So for me, I blow this thing up from the foundation. I rip it all up, and I start all over again.
Yeah,
And that's the only way you fix the Pelicans.
I don't think I think Zion one of the most unprofessional players across sports in like the last 5-6 years. Like the dude don't take the sport serious at all. Um, he's never in shape. He in shape. His idea of shape is, oh, my weight is 285. Just hit that weight limit in the clause in the contract, like the
Yep.
285 limit. He ain't in game shape. By game
Yep.
shape, I mean, can he go play a game? And I know he can go 40 minutes hard each night, and I know he have no chance of injury. Like I'm gonna tell you, a player, Jason Tatum, same age, or like in that same age range, game shape at any moment. You can go call if the finals ended in June. Go call Jason Tatum in August. Say, hey, can you play a 30-minute game right now? He ready to play
He
without
ready.
no risk of injury. So I think I think he doing all this to get out of New Orleans because he know he don't have guaranteed money left on that deal. I think starting next month
Now,
the guarantees run
yeah,
out.
when the extension kicks in, yeah,
No, the
yeah,
extension
yeah,
kicked
yeah.
in. I think the guaranteed money,
No,
it was only guaranteed for
you're
like
right.
2 years. Like
It's the
it's
guarantee. It's the guarantees. You're right.
yeah, it's over after like next month. Like they could technically cut him if they wanted to, with no risk. It's like
Yeah.
the and then that's why the agent got fired. The agent got fired because he signed one of the worst. He signed the worst fucking deal in sports. Like far as basketball, that's the worst deal in basketball. Like you sign a $200 million deal and not even 50% guaranteed when everybody get guaranteed deals in the NBA damn near. You sign
Here's
a
the
max
biggest part
deal
of
and less than 50% guaranteed.
the
Like, come
biggest
on.
part of the stupidity is that his representation, aka his daddy, is telling him don't play. The stupidest part of that is if you want out of New Orleans, they're not gonna cut you. They're not gonna cut you. They've invested too much in you,
Yeah.
so they're not gonna cut you. So the only way you can get out of New Orleans now is if you
It's to
play.
play and be in shape. Like if you be in shape, bro, they'll trade you. Hopefully they trade you in the summer. I'm just ready to get out the business. I don't even care what they get at this point. If it's a first round pick and a like a solid player that can get 15 points a game, I'll take it at this point.
I
But
I
I'm just
traded
ready
that
to be
style
out the
security.
business.
I trade him out security. You know what I do? Put him in Portland. Put him in Portland.
I don't, bro. Hey, B, I don't care where he goes. Just get him off the fucking team.
I feel you. I feel you. But it like I'm not. I know where he want to go. I ain't sending you
Oh,
to New York.
dude. The only way he get to New York is if it's Brooklyn. You think the Knicks want him? I see what Knicks fans say about him. That shit that he would pull. See, nobody care about the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. Like nobody gives a fuck
Yeah,
about
right,
them. That's
right.
the only place he can get away with this shit that he do. Like, dude, if Zion was in New York, he would have did something to himself by now. With the
Yeah, that New York
if
media
he
would have been on
operated the
his
way,
helmet.
yeah, if he operated the way that he did with the Pelicans, man, fuck, he might have mental issues because they wouldn't stop.
Yeah, that New York media is vicious. They would have had that boy ate the
Yeah,
hell up by now.
nobody care about Brooklyn. Like shit, nobody cared about Brooklyn. Brooklyn was still the second draw when they had 3 Hall of Famers on the team.
You ain't lying. And ain't nobody still give a damn. You know when people cared about the Brooklyn Nets? Oddly enough, when Kenny Atkinson was coaching a bunch of basically no names. When he had what's the cat, man? That was playing point guard for him or whatever like that, man. I think
Russell.
he in Dallas now. No, Dinwiddie.
Oh yeah,
When he had Dinwiddie in that crew and Levert and all of that stuff like that. When Kenny Atkinson was coaching Dinwiddie and all of them, that's when people gave a damn about Brooklyn because they were just a fun little scrappy team to watch. But other than that, that was about it. Nobody cared about them when they had KD, Kyrie, and what's that, Ben or
yeah.
Harden or whoever else, man. Like they didn't care about them like that, man.
And I don't know why they released Alfred Payton, but yeah, man, when it comes to them football, like, 50 53-man roster, I give them a little bit more leeway when it comes to injuries. Like, but the Pelicans, man, these dudes have so many injuries, and it's like, it's still kind of early in the season. Like, is there any hope for these guys to come back and like change it around?
Nah, this season
No,
over, but
they don't know. They punting. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna tell you the difference between New Orleans and why I say I know it's the way the organization is, because Memphis went through this exact same thing last year. They missed John Morant. They missed, I want to say, Bane missed time. They had a bunch of
Marcus
players that
Smart,
went. Bingo.
everybody got hurt.
Everybody, and so they punted on the season, but they knew everybody was gonna come back this year ready and motivated.
Yeah,
The Pelicans got to punt on this season, but the problem is they're
they
gonna
got
have
to
to ship
restart.
players out. Yes, they got to
Like
restart the whole thing.
they can't keep this. Like again, I told you, I said like I ain't gonna never. I have my gripes with Brandon Ingram as a player. I ain't gonna shit on him overall. Like he tried. I think fans think Brandon Ingram is and fans and like some of his stand base think that Brandon Ingram is something that he not. Like if that's true that he turned down a $50 million max deal, then that got to be one of the dumbest decisions in sports because I would never offer Brandon Ingram a $50 million max deal. And if they offered you that and you turn it down, you a damn fool. But like I ain't gonna shit on him as an overall player. Like I know he got his deficiencies, but like I ain't gonna shit on him. He a professional for the
I think
most part.
Brandon would have been better off if the team would have built like when all of that shit happened with Zion or whatever at first. If they would have shipped Zion early in a situation and kept Brandon and built around Brandon, I think he would have been happier. I don't think him and Zion get along. Like I don't know if they get along well off the court, but on the court, their synergy is off. They'll never be
Yeah,
able to
I
truly
don't think
work together the
I don't
right
think
way.
they play. I don't think they play well with each other. But like
Yes,
again, me personally, I'm not building my team around Brandon Ingram. I like him, but
either
I think
one.
Brandon. Yeah, I would. Yeah, and I definitely wouldn't build around Zion after, especially he gave you all the evidence. You don't build around him. Like even if he get traded, he gonna be a complimentary player at this point. You ain't nobody trade for him to be like, oh man, I think I can turn this into Zion from Duke. Like he don't even take care of his body.
Here's how you save the Pelicans right here. You trade Zion, you trade Bi, you trade CJ, and you build around young players like Jordan Hawkins, Messi. You can keep Dejounte Murray if you want to keep him. You build around those type of dudes because what you want is you want what I just spoke of a little while ago about Brooklyn. You want remember when the Pelicans had like Speedy Claxton and all of them and everybody had got hurt, but they were still scrappy and they would play hard every game, but they were kind of fun to watch. You not
Yeah.
gonna win right now in the West. So the best thing you could do is try to rebuild, and while you rebuild them, build like the Baby Bulls when they had Joakim Noah, and they had Tyson Chandler and stuff like that, and it could like rebuild a young, scrappy team that's kind of fun to watch
And
until
hope
you
you
can
get the
get the
next
players that
star.
you want. Yes,
Yeah. Like
that's how you save the Pelicans.
a player I would hypothetically want in the draft. I seen him because he played my college and we played him in a home game. So I went to watch the game. We played Rutgers and Ryan Harper's son is really really good. But Ryan Harper's son also had a tweet about they said that he said he wouldn't want his son to play for the Jazz, and then he clarified. He said, "I didn't say I wouldn't want my son to play for the Jazz, but it's definitely some teams in NFL, NBA that like I wish I'm not gonna hijack the kid moment if he get it, but I wish he couldn't. I wish he had no choice, no option to go there. And it's clear the Pelicans is they that team in the league. And I think like the only way to change that, like I think the Pelicans they got a small fan base. I think they have good fans that want to love basketball, but in the 22 years they've never had nothing to like really love outside of Chris Paul and like and I say some of like some moments with AD, but like Chris Paul was the one guy to truthfully like wrap your arms around. Is like, man, that dude it. And even that one AD year, but like this Zion thing been a disaster, bro. It's 6 years and like you had a rebuild born on second base, as far as the asset you got and the asset you knew you was gonna get with Drew Holiday, and you didn't do shit with it. You didn't
Squandered
even
it.
like, bro. Imagine it's like B. It's like imagine being in the World Series and a dude hit a double. You in extra innings, and a dude hit a double, and you got like Barry Bonds up at the plate, and you got a man on first and second with no outs left, and like he got a triple play happen. That's what it feel like with the Saint. With the Pelicans, like they had a man on second base, They had a man on first base, and they had Barry Bonds at the plate with 0 outs left, and a triple play happened, and everybody went out. They didn't go anywhere in 6 seasons. No, like we can't even point at what do the Pelicans do good in 6 seasons under David Griffin administration. Like he the issue, but the players the issues
And that's
too.
the part.
But ownership the issue. It is an issue on every facet of the organization. Nobody can say, man, I tried, I just didn't get the cooperation. Like everybody failed. Like even Willie Green, I'm not a Willie Green fan, but like you hired Willie Green and you hired you hired a young coach and had no vets around him. Your vet coach to assist him was Mike D'Antoni as a virtual assistant. Like he learned it through Zoom. You can't build a fucking team like that.
I see a lot of fans talk about.
I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead, B.
No. Get your point off, fam. I'm good.
No, go ahead. I was just about to say a little quick comment. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, that the head coach that I wanted is currently a head coach right now, and his team is doing quite well right now. I wanted Kenny Atkinson, and I don't know why. Let me not say I don't know why. I know why he got fired in Brooklyn, but I wanted Kenny Atkinson, and I think it was stupid that the Pelicans didn't even give him a look when he was quite clearly the best head coach, prospect out there at the time when they were looking to hire a coach. I'm like, and now he's out there coaching, he's doing his thing, and his team is flourishing. You know who not? The Pelicans. They got Pastor Willie Green, who's basically a dark-skinned Dennis Allen, and until Gail decides she's going to do the same thing to the Pelicans that she did with the Saints when she finally got blessed be that Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis, and a lot of these cats like that went to Gail and told her, we don't want to play for Dennis Allen. It's not us. We're perfectly capable of winning games. We don't want to play for Dennis Allen. So when she heard that, she had no other choice but to overstep what Mickey Loomis was talking about. Until Gail decides she's going to overstep and either fire David Griffin or fire both of them, Willie Green and David Griffin, the Pelicans going to be right where they at. The players do not want to play for Willie Green, period.
And it's funny because I hear a lot of fans say the Pelicans are actually Gail's baby, like that's her baby.
Man.
And I also hear a lot of the fans say, the savior can be Cooper Flagg if we were to trade by Zion or BI.
NBA ain't letting Cooper Flagg come to New Orleans. Fuck no.
What? Man, look, the NBA gave the Pelicans Anthony. They gave the Pelicans Anthony, Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, and Zion Williamson, and they've done nothing with none of the three. Chris Paul had his run of success with the Crescent City Connection. It was dope. They let it flop. AD had his. You swept the Portland Trailblazers, and you gave it that. You tried to do it big or whatever like that with him and Boogie, but I'm not gonna say they lowball Boogie. They offered Boogie $20 million, and he was like, "Nah."
Man, that man got hurt, and he tried to be greedy on the torn Achilles, man. But hey, that moment, that do it big season, like that was fun, bro. You felt like you was watching something hypothetically that was, even if you knew, because man, we know what our market is in basketball. These dudes trying to play in like 5 cities. That felt like something. Like I felt like hypothetically, if Boogie had played,
they would have been a way different.
Like I don't know if they beat Golden State. I know that was a series that was that made Golden State sweat. Like yes, and that was prime Golden State. And then you got I'm always remember that do it big moment, even though they lost 5-4-1 in the second round. Like I'm always remember that. Oh, the Chris Paul years, like you gonna always remember that. But it's nothing to hang your hat on with this Zion stuff. Like the biggest moment in Zion is the dunk against Phoenix. Like that's his biggest moment.
Y'all know when I was out on Zion, I was out on Zion when he was hurt that year, and this was an elimination game. This was an elimination game in the playoffs. And he said after the game we lost and got knocked out, he said I could have played this game, but I wanted to surprise everybody if we'd have came back home.
Oh man.
I was like, we was playing away. We were playing away when we lost, but he was like, I wanted to surprise everybody when we came back home. I was like, what? In an elimination game you could have played and you didn't play? And then you said that? No, that was the most craziest thing I ever heard, dog. But it's crazy. Y'all turned up when we talking about.
I'm ready for the Zion thing to be over.
Because
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's been bottled up.
The Pelican stuff more frustrating, man.
It's been bottled up, bro.
like I said, bro, they had a rebuild where like they had so many assets and nothing went right. And I'm counting the assets that they had. That I ain't even counting what they ended up getting for Drew Holiday because that's a big ass haul what they got for Drew Holiday. Like they got Bucks picks in the Bucks situation. I know Giannis kind of saving it this year, but like hell, they got Bucks picks in 2028. Giannis might be off the team by next year. Like as far as like a trade request, like they got a lot of stuff and nothing got done with it. We never won a playoff series. I watched OKC start over. They got a top 5 player in the league. Zion not even a top 35. Like he's not a top 30 player if you go rank some guys right now. He first of all, he don't play, he's not in shape. Like it's just everything bad. Like that's why the fans to me, I think that's why the fans like Herb Jones so much. They're like, shit, this was a second round pick. He the heart of your team. He the one true professional on the team.
Herb the AK, he the AK of the Pelicans.
Yeah, look, it's crazy how the Pelicans fan base gravitated towards 3 players. Jose, because Jose played with all heart. Jose remind everybody of us because I'm 6'2". The way Jose play, man, I could feel like I could do that. That's why I relate to him. Jose, Herb, and of course now they got DeJounte. And the one thing I like about DeJounte, bro, is that man, like he bust his ass to get back from that injury that he had.
Yeah,
And
but
the
that
season in
man,
which he knew was lost.
yeah, that man ain't even like. That's why I was trying to give him. I know, I live out here in Atlanta, like, and I know the Hawks fans be saying what they say, but like, man, I had to give DeJounte some like credit. Like, bro, he wasn't even going through 5-on-5. Like he didn't come back with a 5-on-5 ramp up period, and then his mom had the stroke too. Like he just came back. Like, so I got to give him some type of level of pass, but like, you can tell basketball. The main thing is basketball. Like.
Yeah.
And even with Brandon, I never questioned was basketball the main thing. Like with Zion, bro, the main thing is like I'm gonna get this money. I got these endorsements. I'm just trying to be out there. I'm really trying to get this trade, but I'm making sure I get the money first. And basketball is not the main thing. I just happen to play basketball for the team in New Orleans, and that's what it is at this point.
You ever listen to Zion talk and like when he say that, yeah, Drew Brees told me if you love New Orleans, it's gonna love you back. It almost seemed like he reading off a script. Like you
Yeah.
can hit hear real about him when it comes to his love for New Orleans to me, except for his love for the food in New Orleans. That's about it. I believe. Now, if you ask him what restaurants is good and he started talking about that, I believe every word he said. I'm ready for the experiment to be over, bro. Just blow the whole thing up, start all over again, and I'm happy.
Zion was that kid in middle school that had that rolling book set playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but just so happened could jump out the gym. But I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all guys get up out of here, man. We definitely went way past what I thought we was gonna do, especially with the Pelicans part, man. Like y'all went in on them. I guess it was just bottled up because I guess we be on Saints Twitter a lot. It's some people who be on Pelicans Twitter, but it's a little bit more you gravitate towards Saints Twitter a little bit more. So I guess y'all had a little bit of stuff bottled up right there that y'all probably wouldn't usually get out on Twitter like y'all get out with the Saints. But thanks for coming on the show, and y'all taking your time out. Go ahead on and tell everybody where you can find y'all at on Twitter before y'all go.
Yeah, y'all can follow me on Twitter at It's Rainy Though. Just talk a lot of sports pretty much. But yeah, y'all can follow me there if y'all want to.
All right,
Follow me on Twitter at Battle Rap Bets, all one word, man. And believe me when I say, I think I should come with like a warning label or something for my Twitter account, man. But sometimes it's all in good fun, and sometimes I'm dead serious. You be the judge.
All right, man. That's how we gonna end it, man. Appreciate y'all for coming on to the stream, man. Y'all have a nice night.
Salute, brothers.
All right, thank you, man. Y'all take care, bro. Both of y'all.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, man. That was Randy, Marlon, and that was Marlon and Bryan, man. Good guys right there, man. Passionate Saints fans, and they gonna tell it like it is. They ain't really just gonna hold back from what they gonna think. So if y'all just want some tell it like it is content from them, or tell it like it is thoughts from them, just go ahead on and follow their Twitter that they had gave y'all. But yeah, man, ain't been streaming lately. I did a video actually like last week, but for whatever reason the video ain't upload. I kept trying to upload it, it didn't want to upload. So that's probably another reason why I haven't been streaming as of late. But I've been out of town. It's been my birthday, so I went out there to Brazil to go kick back, go clear my mind, just get away from the sports and to get away from all the talk and the Saints and stuff like that. And it's good to just, take a step back from everything and then just have a clear mind and then come back to it and, get back to business, man. But yeah, man, more episodes to come. There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about, of course, because it's the Saints. When does the Saints don't have a lot of stuff to talk about? Who's going to be the quarterback? That's going to be a big topic of discussion. We got the Commanders. That's going to be a big topic of discussion. Jaden Daniels, LSU kid coming into the Dome. We already know how LSU kids do in the Dome. And Jaden Daniels, he's just beloved when it comes to the city, bro. And he's doing good. A lot of people are rooting for him. And it's just going to be a crazy game. Like, even if you're not, a Saints fan, you're going to be at that game because you'll probably be an LSU fan. Or even if you're just kind of down on this season, you still probably going to want to go see Jaden Daniels because he was an LSU kid. The same when the Saints played Joe Burrow. We played Joe Burrow and Chase, and there was so many people in the LSU jerseys up in there. And I guess, they fandom for LSU overruled they fandom for the Saints. There's some of the people out there. I personally don't see how you could do that, but I don't know because I don't really watch college like that. I watch LSU when they're in the playoffs and they're trying to go for the championship. But other than that, I don't really watch college. But this damn sure going to be a fun game. We're going to have a discussion on it. We're going to give a recap after the game, and we're going to for sure give a preview of the game. Within a few days. So yeah, man, y'all just stay tuned. If y'all like the content, go ahead on and hit the like button, go ahead on and subscribe, go ahead on and share, and I'm gonna let y'all enjoy y'all night, man. Thanks for rocking out with No Cap No Filter Saints. I'm out.